I froze as Lily slid the divorce papers across the table, her smirk dripping with arrogance. "I've been with an incredible man for 8 months," she said, eyes gleaming. "He's better than you in every way, and if you even think about making trouble, I'll have you locked up." My blood burned, but I stayed silent. My revenge was already in motion. Her name was Lillian. We met in college. She was sharp, ambitious, the kind of woman who could make a room fall silent just by walking in. I was the quiet one, the guy who paid attention to details others missed. For years I thought we were a perfect match. We built a life together, shared dreams, whispered about the future in the dark. But I should have known love when laced with deception is just a waiting game before the mask slips. Looking back, the signs were there. The late nights, the sudden interest in her phone's privacy, the way she started treating me like an inconvenience instead of a partner. I had brushed it off until now. The first crack in the illusion came 6 weeks ago, a single message left open on her laptop, just long enough for my eyes to catch. "I can't wait to see you tonight. Same place." At first, I felt sick. My stomach churned, my fingers trembled. But then something in me shifted. I didn't confront her, I didn't break down. Instead, I planned for 6 weeks. I watched, listened, gathered every lie, every careless whisper, every step she took toward the destruction of our marriage. I collected them like a surgeon preparing for a precise incision. Because if she was going to burn our life down, I wasn't going to be the one left in the ashes. I followed her patterns. Tuesday nights, always late work events, she'd say, barely looking up from her phone. But I knew the truth. I tailed her once, sat in my car across from a dimly lit hotel, watching as she laughed, draped in a dress I hadn't seen before, her arm linked with his. A man I recognized, Jason Whitmore, my former business partner, beat the one who had tried to cut me out of my own company 5 years ago, only to fail when I outmaneuvered him. So this wasn't just betrayal, it was war. I recorded everything, every text, every call, every transaction. I made copies of her emails and found out she had been funneling money from our joint account into a private one. She wasn't just leaving me. She was planning to walk away with more than her share. But she had underestimated me. The day before she handed me the divorce papers, I executed my plan. Step 1. The accounts. I moved every legal penny I could into a separate account under my name. She would wake up to find her private stash drained, the transactions perfectly legal, the records airtight. Step 2. The house. Technically, it was in both our names, but months ago, I had leveraged my assets to quietly buy out her share. She just didn't know it yet. Step 3. Jason. I made a call, a well-placed conversation with a board member at his firm, paired with some carefully leaked information about insider trading. The next morning, he would wake up to a full-scale investigation, his career in jeopardy, and finally, step 4, the grand reveal. The next evening, I waited for her at the same restaurant where we used to celebrate anniversaries. She arrived with Jason, her fingers curled around his arm like a trophy. She didn't know, not yet. I let them order drinks, let them settle into their smugness. Then I slid a manila envelope across the table. She frowned. "What's this?" Jason opened it first, his face drained of color. "Where did you get this?" "A good strategist never reveals his sources." I leaned back, watching the panic set in. "By tomorrow morning, the SEC will be all over your firm. Hope you didn't have any plans for the weekend." Lillian's breath hitched. "You're lying!" Jason sighed, shoved away from the table, phone already in hand, mumbling something about calling his lawyer. Then I turned to Lillian. "You should check your accounts." Her fingers flew across her phone screen. The moment she saw the balance, 0, her face twisted in horror. I let the silence stretch before delivering the final blow. "Oh, and about the house. You might want to start packing. I'll give you a week." Her eyes burned with disbelief, anger, maybe even fear. "You set me up." "No, Lillian," I stood, buttoning my jacket. "You set yourself up." She chased me outside, her composure finally cracking. "You can't do this. I'll take you to court." I turned, letting the cold night air sharpen my words. "Go ahead, but let's not forget divorce courts don't look kindly on adultery, fraud, or financial deceit." Her lips parted, but no words came. For the first time, she realized she had lost. I let that moment settle, let her feel the weight of her own choices. Then I walked away. It took me years to build a life with her. It took her months to destroy it. But it took me only 6 weeks to make sure I walked away without a scratch. I didn't feel regret or sadness, just relief. Because in the end, I wasn't the fool she thought I was. Betrayal is an art, but so is revenge, and the best kind leaves no loose ends.